Hi everyone, my name's Lauren. I have lived experience of seasonal affective disorder as well as anxiety and some other mental health issues. In my experience, seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, as I'm going to refer to it, is quite sneaky. I've had it for about 8 years now, or at least as I've recognised it. It comes around for me from about mid-October and then disappears from about probably mid to end of February. And it's almost like a really heavy cloak. As I've got older, my symptoms have probably got worse. I'm actually undiagnosed, so I'm pretty much working with a self-diagnosis. But I feel at the moment it's a waste of energy fighting for a diagnosis because I can pretty much link my symptoms coming on to the changes in the weather going from autumn to winter and then them disappearing as we go from winter to spring. 2020 was the first year I felt comfortable to talk about my seasonal affective disorder because I was afraid of the stigma attached to having my mental health affected by the seasons changing, that others might think that is just an excuse for being in a mood or grumpy. I mean, it was a relief actually to stop the self-stigmatization that I was doing. Like all the what must have looked like really strange behaviour to my work colleagues or friends, like making excuses to run outside just to get some vitamin D, even when it was raining or in a freezing cold wind with a little bit of winter sun. Some people don't think it's sad a real problem, but it is. For me, January is my worst time of year. And it's because although we've passed the shortest day, it's still dark a lot. It tends to rain a lot as well, and that gets reflected within my mood. It's not just the characteristic depressive mood state. I tend to get a short fuse more so than any other time of year. I get angry quite easily, get irritable at home and at work. And in an ordinary year, probably in like social situations, I have trouble sleeping, sometimes getting to sleep. I sleep in more often than the rest of the year. Sometimes I really struggle with motivation. It's like, do I really have to get up and face the day? On some days, open the curtains on a lot of mornings to the skies being full of clouds and dark and heavy rain. I'm like, oh, here we go again. It's knowing that no matter what I say, someone's not going to get it, and then they'll find it funny, and it'll just wind me up in some kind of way. And it's happened a lot where I've snapped and then regretted it straight away, or burst into tears over just a silly comment. I also get increased anxiety on top of my social and generalized anxiety, but people don't really see that. It is basically invisible, and I tend to sometimes have, although I am on top of them, panic attacks, which don't really happen a lot, but they are silent. Things that are useful for me though are this, which is a sad light. I use it on a morning while I'm having my breakfast and getting ready to leave the house for work. Basically, it gives you the vitamin D that is missing during the winter time of year. It's on 10 to 15 minutes a day, which makes a huge difference. I also use vitamin D supplements, but I use them year round just to keep the levels up and so I can remember to take them. That's another thing that's affected my memory is worse at this time of year. At the moment, I've just got it's like a dawn clock, and it kind of comes on an hour before your alarm, and it recreates the effect between dawn basically. So the light comes on and gets brighter and brighter and brighter until your alarm goes off, which I found quite useful. I'm already on medication for my previously mentioned anxiety, but that also helps the SAD. And I only started using this light box about 2 to 3 years ago, and it's dramatically improved my mood. I used to get horrendously depressed. I used to withdraw massively in winter, but now I am almost living like a semi-normal life, and I can cope a lot better with my seasonal affective disorder. I've also found that keeping a routine helps. I mean, I'm at work at the moment, but when I've not been in employment, just kind of getting up, going out for a walking in nature is really, really useful. Listening to music. Music has been huge for me when I've had difficult times and difficult emotions. Getting down how I'm feeling on paper is really, really useful. Just if I can't articulate it in speech, just being able to write it. And I mean, I'm a published poet, so putting it down in poetic form is sometimes what I do. I'm also a bit of a photographer, so I combine the nature walks with photography. And sometimes I just stand and listen. Some days I do have to force myself to go out for those walks in nature because I know if I don't, I'm going to feel a lot worse. I'm almost inside my own echo chamber with my mind, and that's not a good place to be. Other things that are good are just having someone to talk to that doesn't try and just like kind of fix you with every conversation, or someone that'll just sit and listen. Just my advice would be to talk to somebody that you trust, and I mean, keep a diary of maybe when you're feeling like this. Write down your feelings. Try and keep a routine. Even make sure you're getting out if you can. And if I was going to describe it sad in a single sentence, it would be wearing a dark, heavy cloak from October to February with dark sunglasses on under a cloud of depression. Because when it comes to the end of February, it's like a weight's lifted. Thank you for listening, and I hope this has been useful for you.